Hello, everyone. Welcome to Deconstructing the Construct, episode 81. It's a bit of a fingers crossed, hoping this works because my internet has been unstable all morning. So if I drop, I drop, unfortunately. Sorry, it's been 4 weeks. We usually do try to get this done on a Tuesday, but for one reason or another, it hasn't been very doable. So I'm really not sure what I spoke about last time. But just trying to pick up on the threads over the last few weeks. Just so you know, again, I'm not in YouTube. I don't know who's there. I don't see the comments or the questions, but if you do have one, please put it in all caps and it will get passed over to me. I can't have anything open other than Zoom at the moment. So welcome. Hi. I just can't call out names. Numbers are playing a significant role, it seems, at the moment. July 31st, I think we did touch on this last time. From July 31st to December 21st is 144 days inclusive, which I think in itself is kind of fascinating. But there's a few ways to actually break that up. On September 17, last week, for no reason, I just woke up. No memory of a dream, no nothing, like there was no cause for it. And I was just super excited. And I was excited all day. And I was looking to see what would justify this excitement, and there was nothing. Nothing happened. The world didn't change. Nothing amazing happened. But I was just sitting in this place of excitement all day. The only other person I've heard make reference to September 17 is JCK, the Australian woman who's gone kind of viral over recent weeks. And the only thing I've seen her do is say that things changed on that day. But the interesting thing is September 17 is literally a third of the way through this period. It's about 47, 48 days, whatever that is. So it's breaking it up into threes, which is, again, interesting, which I'll elaborate on. If you go to the halfway point, you're looking at October 17. Again, there's some recent talk about this date being significant. The clocks that all the anons look at, and many, many others, when you look at John Daniels, who I know you guys all love, found a plethora of photos of watches and clocks from movies and advertisements and things like that, and they're all set to the same time of 10:08. I'm just wondering whether the 8 represents 17. 1 and 7 is 8. If you go to the third point, we're breaking it up into 48 days, you end up around election time, November 3, 4. And it does feel like it's being done in these chunks. And for three for me has been recurring and significant. Is it streaming or no? You where you need to be?
No, it's working fine. No questions yet.
Okay. As I've talked about a couple of times this year, I've noticed that the messages from home are deltas, just like the Q drops are. And it's not even so much that they're time deltas, like they're more significant a year later or 2 years later or 3 years later on that day. Their level deltas, layer deltas. This whole inception concept for me, where, you know, reality is actually 3 layers deep. Like I talked about with the Wizard of Oz thing, on the surface, it's the scarecrow, and then the level down, it's the straw man, and the level underneath that, it was Freddy Krueger. So there's 3 levels. The number 3 is just showing up a lot. Where we are now feels like we're hitting level 3 in every area, politically, spiritually, energetically, internally. We're hitting what could also otherwise be labeled the motherboard level, the code where everything stems from, the core. And that is even playing out in, say, more new age kind of language and circles, with Mother Earth and Gaia, fire, and all of that coming up again. But motherboard, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, it's the motherboard, and it's level 3. So when I look at messages from home, when I look at Q drops, when I look at things like that, it's like everything is multi-layered, 3 layers, and we are revisiting. And it doesn't necessarily equate to time period. It's a layer. So this whole meet your boss thing I've been talking about is hitting the motherboard level, hitting the core, level 3. It's the final reveal, purge, cleanse. And I say final because it really does feel final. Lisa, part of the OPPT deal, do you still talk to Randall? Randy's still in prison, as far as I know, and I haven't had any contact with him. No. Every time I ask, this last 7 days, I get, you are in the doorway. A lot of people are getting messages, dreams, downloads about you're at the door, you're at the gate, or the gate is open, the door is open. That has picked up, I would say, over the last 2 weeks for a lot of people. Yellow Rose for Texas put a new video out, and I have been asked by a lot of people my thoughts or take on it and stuff. And as always, there's a lot of points of congruence with Rose. Different language. And then there's bits that don't, that I don't relate to. But what she calls seals, ID, to get through the gate, I guess I could equate with keys, what we call keys, what Lily referred to as keys to the gem in her poem. Gates are open for those with keys to the gem. And again, in the last 2 weeks, people have been, and they've used the word keys. People have either received a symbol or what looks like a key, or in meditation, in dreams. This has been, I've heard from maybe half a dozen people now. Just in the last 10 days, probably even. So something is going on there. The noises that Rose spoke of, I think she called it the bell, but it's the noise that has no source, that can't be explained. There's been a few of those. I even had one myself a few days ago. Anything from knocks at the door when there's no one there, to hearing sirens when there's nothing there, to crackling electricity sounds in the room with no cause, to, what was the other one? Water bottle, it sounded like it was singing.
Doorbells.
Doorbells, did you say?
Yeah.
So that's, again, congruence with Rosa's stuff. What else did she talk about? She used the word seamless, which is another word that we got. The transition will be seamless. I think that's all in terms of comments on that, about what's congruent. What else have we got? Yeah, the deltas it's about spherical time through the layers, and we're at layer 3, level 3, motherboard, all of that. The meeting your boss thing has been really, really big for a lot of people. It's anything unresolved. It's like we are doing our own personal life reviews yet again, because it's level 3 of that. We've been here before. And really kind of taking responsibility, forgiveness of self. Everyone does the best they can do at the time. Most people. The other thing that is significant that has showed up in the last few weeks is plasma. And the word plasma, energetically seeing plasma, what I can only call plasma beings in our environment now. It's like an influx of articles around plasma. It goes back also to another message we received from home in regards to our environment is plasma. Our world is plasma. And it feels like we're up against this plasma. We're at the plasma level, up against this plasmatic environment now. Okay, sorry, I'll have a look back and see if there's any comments, questions. Yep, feel like I'm doing a life review lately. Okay. The whole sitting thing that Yellow Rose talked about, yeah. We've been talking a lot about that lately. There's a sense of, we've gone through these periods before. So again, it feels like we're at level 3 because it's deeper and more profound than before. We've talked about being bored. You know, we go through these periods of boredom, but this time it's to the point and the depth that is reminding me of a message from home, Delta again, where Lilu said, can't you see it? Can't you feel it? There's no life left there anymore. And that is how it feels. It's beyond boredom. It's because boredom's not really the right word now. There's no spark. There's no life spark anymore, except in our really heart-based communications with each other. That's where the life is. That's about it. Is anyone experiencing seeing invisible beings, rather like in Predator, the movie? Guys, you got anything to say about that? Because yeah, it's like a shimmer. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're alone on that one.
Plasma.
Oh, sorry, cat. What are you doing? Hello. No, you're not attacking me now. No, 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 no. As I learn, I think I understand that as we ascend from 3D to 5D, we will become aware of our ability to also see the 4D where mystical beings reside. Okay, well, that's an A perspective, I guess. And someone's answered your question that they saw something on a couple of occasions on the weekend, but thought that was just their eyes or their glasses. So yeah, like I said, plasma beings in the environment. That's the only word I can use to describe them.
And the veil is very thin.
And the veil is very thin. That too. Anything that is, I've said it, we've said it, Rosa said it, many people have said it, nothing of the old can go forward. So anything that is not congruent with where you are going will not be sustainable. There's been a few really cool experiences. A couple of years ago, it was possibly 17, maybe 18, but there was this realization that this whole process, this ascension, this whatever, this closing the matrix, whatever, was so much bigger than just Earth or just this construct, that all of creation was changing, was being rearranged as a result of what happened here, what's been learned here, what's been experienced here, and what had to happen in order to fix it. So, but what does that look like? And obviously we get visuals that we can handle, that our minds can sort of make sense of, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's actually what it looks like in reality. It could be metaphor, it could be literal, but it's just whatever you can handle. So what has been seen initially by one of the other members, and then in a conscious state, and then by me in dream time, days later, was a flat plane that's as big as a galaxy or a universe, huge, huge. And all of the other realms outside this construct and inside this construct that have since gone, cleaned or whatever, they are all contained in this new space. Like little pockets, frequency pockets. Okay. And I can only, equate this with what Lilu said originally, which was that this is the Windows 50 version, of the real, of the new. Everything is alive in a way that it's not here. Everything is a being. And then a few nights later, I had a dream, series of dreams actually, because I kept waking up about every 45 minutes after one. And in these dreams, I was at a train station, a port with boats. There was flying machines, because I don't want to say airplanes, because I don't think they were. I think they were more like zeppelins and possibly even spacecraft, I'm not sure. But all these different modes of transport and ushering hundreds and thousands of people onto these different modes of transport. I was sort of like overseeing it, make sure that was happening. And then I'd wake up in this hot sweat with this sense of, okay, job done. And then straight back to sleep and then into the next one. And it went on all night. And then at the last thing that happened that night was having this experience where I was inside a mountain. The mountain was a being. I was sharing, it was like the consciousness that the being that was in that mountain kind of invited me in and then like moved over, made space for me, and I was allowed to sort of shuffle in and look through the mountain's eyes. And the mountain was on the periphery of this huge space. And I was watching, checking, ensuring that all the people I'd been putting on all these different modes of transport all night were actually arriving. I needed to confirm they were arriving. And then I wanted to go further into the landscape because I was right on the edge. And next thing I know I'm further in, not too much further in, and I'm inside a tree. And again, I'm sharing the body of the tree with the being that is the tree. And I could feel my body felt like the trunk and my arms felt like branches. And I looked down at some point and my trunk was green. It wasn't brown or grey or what we have here. The trunk itself was green and actually it was like moss. And so I was able to have a quick look through the tree and then I woke up. So plenty of movement. And it is as if all of these different realms, beings, whatever, everyone's coming in. Well, okay, sorry, I've got to scroll back to see questions. What does Lulu say about God or the One? She's never referenced the term the One, I don't believe. I remember very early in communication with her, within the first month probably, someone asked her the question, is there a God? And it's the only time it's ever come up. And her answer was, no one knows. Everyone is looking for God. And she said, maybe we'll find out where God. That was it. Anyone having their pets, especially cats, really sucky babies lately? No, mine's still crazy. Galactic Federation controls next matrix. Still a matrix of freedom and evil gone, so better than here. Okay. Again, it's a perspective. It's not mine. But I think everybody's going to get what they expect anyway. We're going to get what our minds can handle. We are going to get what we expect. If you want to go up in a ship into some sort of galactic Star Trek sort of situation, then that's what you can get. There is something kind of tailor-made, it feels. Because the whole point of all of this, the way we've done it, is to save as many minds as possible, to make this as seamless as possible. So I guess we all get what we need. Anyone else having small chunks of glitter coming out of their skin? I've seen the glittery skin, but this is actual pieces coming out of the flesh. Nope, that's a first on me. Yeah, but one of the members is saying yes. Is it your body purging that glitter you ate when you were 3 or something? I don't know. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, lots of interesting stuff obviously coming up around Halloween. And if you've been with us for a while, a few years now, you'll know that Halloween comes up every year. 3, you're probably the best one to give the recap on Halloween, if you're up for it.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the 13th moon of the year, even though because each moon of the year is for each month, and the extra moon wherever it lands is the 13th. So there are 2 moons in October, and the second moon in October is on Halloween, the 31st. So it's the 13th moon, which of course is the reverse of 3-1. So we've got that. 2 moons in a month is a blue moon, so it's a blue moon, rare occurrence. Not extremely rare, but rare occurrence. There's a 19-year cycle for when a blue moon happens on Halloween. So that syncs with 19 years ago was 9/11, which of course was some kind of dark ritual. And we're changing the clock back in the US, where we fall back on Halloween. I mean, on the 31st, they say do it 2 in the morning, which would be the 1st of November, but many people, actually the instructions, like if you watch mainstream television or anything, there's, oh, before you go to bed, turn your clock back. So, and then another member brought up today that would then be the 13th hour. So there's a lot of sort of sync with 13, reverse of 31. And I don't know, I'm sure I'm left something out, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you. And there's also, because 13 is relevant for us because of a message from home. I think it was February of 18, which was all about this code, the 1313, 1313. And it was about removing code in the system that prevented our minds from moving forward. The number 13 keeps coming up. And in the other thing you found too was that shot from the Matrix. They go to room 1313. That's where Neo is taken to meet Morpheus, where he's given the red pill, is room 1313.
And the line is, "This is it."
This is it.
When she brings him to the door, this is it.
And at the time you took the screenshot, there'd been 144 views of that clip, which was also interesting. But wasn't there one more thing in that? This is it, 1313. What was the floor? Was there a floor or?
Well, the floor was 13, and so the room was 13, so that's how it came to 1313. And Trinity is walking, the shot is Trinity's walking, Neo, they're now in front of the door. That's why she says this is it.
And Linnea had a Trump dream, and Trump gave her a key that she put in her pocket. Perfect. We're all fractals of we're all fractals of source, reintegrating our individual aspects back into the whole. Yes. Trinity itself is a 3, Neo is a 1. Not answering that, Jenny. What else? Oh shit, there was something else I wanted to bring up. Now it's gone. Okay. Any questions? Or anything that you guys in the Zoom can think of that we should put out there? Nope. John Daniels, you're bound to have something. Just a couple of comments, I guess, on masks. As this goes on, you can see that, I mean, obviously there are people who are wearing them because they have to. It's been mandated or whatever, and they're not crazy about it. But then you can also see that there are some who are genuinely liking wearing the masks. It's like the anonymity that you get online, you can take offline. And I don't know what they think they're hiding from. Because the other theme is the process we're in right now is that all masks are coming off. Everything is being revealed. So it's interesting that some people are clinging to them. Because it makes absolutely zero sense to drive in your own car by yourself with a mask on. It makes zero sense to walk around a park with no other people with a mask on. It makes, there's no no justification at all. So there's something about people enjoying the hiding at the moment for some. It's just interesting to notice. The Trump dreams, I don't know what the hell's going on. Why this guy? But so many people. And I even keep hearing of people who are very, very, very anti-Trump having a Trump dream and that changes everything for them. So I don't know. What do I think of Nasara Jasara? I do think we are going to get something. I just don't think it's going to be called that. Because that to me is too embedded in the old system. It'll be something different and new. And I don't know, maybe they'll use those terms simply because so many people are attached to it, but I don't feel like it.
Trump Sara.
Trump Sara. Any insights as to what to expect next? We are in it. I've had this sense of what I call the out of phase space for a while now. And it's like this period from the 31st of July kicked off. We are in the process. I wish it was just a, click your fingers and you're there, but it's not. It's a process of moving into this out of phase space. As as each day passes, and it really does feel like as each day passes at the moment, that we are taking another step into this out of phase space, the disconnection from everything around us, the purge, the next layer of purge, everything. It just seems to be going deeper into a space, which I'm calling the out of phase space, because I don't know what else to call it. Leading up to September, I felt like once we hit September, things were just going to keep getting better. And it still feels that way for me. There's so much fear-mongering. There's so much speculation around this next fucked up thing they've got planned. But there's no energy in it. And there's less and less energy in it. So I just feel like it's just, we're all doing our own process, and, or we're not, or we're fighting it and making it hard of ourselves. But going within. I know I've been saying it's an individual inside job since 2016. And it just, the true meaning of what that looks like is sort of being revealed as we go. And nothing ever looks the way we think it's going to. Ashley, what dates are in the music video? Obviously, I had a cool experience. Secret, I don't know what to call it. Little anomaly. It was garbage night. I had to put the bins out. But I was so tired. It was late. I couldn't do it. And I meant to set an alarm so I would get up the next day and do it, and I didn't. Forgot, because I was that tired. I didn't even do it. So the next morning, I've got a salt lamp next to my bed. The globe inside popped and exploded, woke me up just in time to go out, put the bins out, and then the trucks came. So I was like, thank you. So, but there's been a lot of electricity things, for sure. Are you in Australia? Yes. What the heck is going on down there with your police? It's in Victoria, so I'm not in Victoria. Where I am, I'm not seeing anything. Life is normal here, which is hard to believe when you see what's going on in other parts, like more down in Melbourne in particular, but life's normal. Apart from people walking around with masks on, life is normal. I dreamed I was pulled down through quicksand into a tunnel, all sorts of strange beings below the surface. Ooh, interesting. When do we expect announcements about the children being rescued? I'm not even sure we're going to get them, but personally. It really feels now like a fake replica of the old 3D reality we used to exist in. Yes, it does. Somebody else dreamt that they were working for him, as in Trump, as an accountant with old-time ledgers. Had an amazing Trump dream. Everything was golden. There is a gold color and quality that people associate with home that is just not here. You don't get it here. It's a different color. It's a different quality tone. So it's interesting. Someone else was on a bus and President Trump was sitting right next to me. He flashed a huge grin at me and somehow he and the people on the bus were part of my group. That was in May of 18. Excellent. I'm surprised there's no reference to the traffic in here. Here as in what, this chat? Or music video said January 5, Thursday, May 5. Okay. All right. Zoom guys, is there anything you think we should bring up? Or anything I've forgotten? The lack of motivation. Yeah, well, that's part of this whole process of moving into out of phase. Question, I had a frequency vision inside my mind that in 2021 the vibrations will be significantly higher in 2021 and the human resonance will hit over 200 in amplitude power. Any more thoughts? I can't even think that far ahead. I mean, to me, the year of 2020 ends at the end of March, beginning of April 2021, because that's when that's the energy of the year, March to March, April to April. Halloween's about as far as I can go. Oh. How do you think the grand conjunction on the 21st of December fits into this? I know it's important, but everything feels like it's going to be so different before then. And the thing, and I complain about this a lot, right? That in terms of the visuals and the feelings and the energies and stuff, you know, they're off the charts and it feels like it's going to be a 10 when it plays out. But when it plays out, it's fucking 2. So you kind of got to take it all with a grain of salt. But what feels like is happening now, that we're in the process of, and is going to continue happening up until the end of October, the conjunction just sort of, I don't know, pales into comparison. I feel like the Earth was cloned and we're on the wrong one. Well, to me, the Earth was cloned at the end of 2012. And slowly but surely, this copy has been changed. Codes have been deleted, codes have been added, codes have been rewritten in order to allow us to disengage. I've never had a Trump dream, but I remember waking up the day after Trump was elected and feeling like we were on a different timeline. Yeah, I don't think we can underestimate where we were headed and what that changed. Anyone feeling like they should be doing something but don't know what that is? That feeling for me, I think I would equate what you said with the feeling I've had since before Christmas, that like my role was about to change. And I don't know what that means. And it's felt imminent since Christmas. And a lot of people have got that feeling, like their role in life or their job or something it's all about to change dramatically. The other thing that's kicked in over recent weeks is this feeling of a move. It's so strong, like I'm about to move, physically move house. And it's so strong and feels so imminent that I should know where I'm going. I should have everything packed and ready to go because the truck's turning up in a second. It's that strong. And I'm not going anywhere, as far as I know. How are our dragons doing? Very well. Very busy. Huh. The Matrix clip was posted on YouTube the same day that the message from home came in that said, remember who you are. Okay. Interesting sync. Does anyone feel like you're ripping out of this skin? You might want to try and give me a little bit more of a description on that. So, are you experiencing serious time compressions? Yes. Time is acting like an accordion at the moment. It expands and contracts and expands and contracts. And 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Sorry, say that again. 10 days of awe. September 27 ends last trumpet, day of awakening, coincidence. I'm not following that, but sorry. Have I heard of JC? Yes, I've watched all the videos too. She's the only other person I know of who's mentioned September 17. My thoughts on timeline 1 and timeline 2 from the Looking Glass information. So that basically says Ascension timeline, New World Order timeline, right? To me, the New World Order timeline completely collapsed back in March. Have you ever had a dream, woken up and gone straight back into the same dream? Yes, many people have, especially lately. Yeah. I've been getting strong messages through dreams that I should move and be mobile, and she's moving to her van on Thursday. Follow your intuition more than ever. Follow your gut. Our ability to, I don't know, receive and hear and feel the guidance that we're being given by our greater selves is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So yeah, don't ignore it. Between my girlfriend and me, it's happening more and more. Telepathy. Huge. Had a lucid dream 3 weeks ago. In the dream, I was teleported to some sort of platform deck in some sort of deep space because it was very dark around. Oh, I know that place. I got stuck. Try that again. Jen, you need to actually paste. All you did was paste the V instead of the rest of the message. There was some sort of spotlight on the platform. There are many people there. I'm happy. And I said, we did it. And I saw Lisa. Not the same looking. I've had the experience you're talking about. Is there more to that? Okay, Carla. Oh, man. Firstly, what did your Lisa look like? Yeah, good question. And did you get a sense of beings inside this dark space all around as well? I came to you and we shook hands and said, mission completed. Then I woke up. And when was this? 3 weeks ago. You were there. Holy crap. Okay, when was my experience? Not that time matters because everything's happening when it's happening at once and all that stuff anyway, but this is going back a few months. Oh, 13th of February. That's right. It was the day before we heard from home on Valentine's Day. Okay. I was feeling very funky. I was up and about. I was awake. And I literally was feeling stuck, like energetically, something had a hold of me. So my good friend who was able to tune into me very easily in the energetic and find me wherever I am, found me in this vast black space. And she was standing on a platform, like you've just described. She's standing on the platform and she can see me over there in this black space. And she had to sort of energetically reach in and pull me out. I was stuck in this, it was like a plasmatic field. I think. And put me onto the platform. Notice there was a lot of people around behind her on this platform. And then I walked off into the crowd, started talking to people. There were beings coming out, like breaking through a plasma wall. There were other beings, these bright white beings that were sort of hovering there in these little capsules, ready to collect them as they came out. And I got stuck halfway. So, yeah, just imagine like a big plasmatic frequency wall, beings coming this way, popping through this wall, other beings here hovering around this empty space in these little capsules, grabbing them, picking them up and delivering them to the platform. So I've not heard anybody explain that space before. So interesting. Wow. At the time, and I've got no reason to think anything else, but at the time it was like an aspect of me. One of my aspects was going home and she got stuck. Increasing body pains. Well, from everything that I know that like the gang and I have been experiencing, it's been healing crisis, coming up against blockages wherever there's resistance, pain, there is resistance. But for the most part, it's healing. So just do what you can to support that. And by that, I mean, not just on a physical level, I mean the mental and emotional work. Look at what, do a Louise Hay, look up what it means. Look what that body function or organ means. Look at the mental things it's associated with. Everything is a cue and a clue and a hint at what we need to look at right now. I've had some really, really painful episodes over the last few months. Well, actually, it's probably since, most of this year, different episodes. And it can go on for days or weeks before I finally click. And I'll do the work. I'll look at what it is, what the core issue is. I'll grab my Louise Hay book. I'll do whatever and face the issue, and it all goes away. Like, it's just so fast. So anything on the sun being a white LED, there is some, whatever we see to me is not the sun. It's something that they've put in front of the sun. Rose calls it Ed, I think, if I understand that narrative properly. Any inside information about all the asteroids? Is this disinfo? Again, and look, maybe I'm being a complete Pollyanna and my head is so far up my own ass, I'm delusional. Possible. I don't feel any energy around any of the fear-mongering. It's like they have got zero ability to pull anything off unless they can get us to buy into it and feed it. They have been so starved on every level that they can't. There's no behind the curtain anymore. There's no doing things in the shadows anymore. They are doing their rituals, and if you know what you're looking at with BLM, and if you know what you're looking at with Antifa, and if you know what you're looking at out there, they are doing their rituals right out in your face. That's how desperate they are. That's how depleted they are. So we are being bombarded with different end time scenarios, and they are all powerful and can pull all this off and whatever. And it's just, they need you to believe that. They desperately need you to believe that. That's my take. If you have a reaction to any of this stuff you see, that asteroids are going to come and destroy us, volcanoes are going to go off, earthquakes, whatever it is, World War III, civil unrest, it's an opportunity to clear that within yourself, for sure. If you have that, if you notice that initial fear response, but yeah, to me, they got nothing. And I know that they are still actively planning a whole bunch of things. I get that. It kind of feels like it's all going to play out the way the 17th of September. Oh yeah, I just realized that was the date. The siege on the White House, months of advertisements and trying to rally the troops, and then, oh, sorry, the event's cancelled because it rained. Really? It all sort of feels like it's going to play out like that. My dreams have been excessive again, 3 or more. I remember a night, and it's extremely weird looking people and places. Okay, weird as in like some of the horrendous kind of experimentation that's been done here, or weird as in beings from elsewhere? Someone's hearing noises right now that make no sense. Yeah, we are clearing trauma through the process, yes. Oh, Carla, that dream did mean something, trust me. Any word from the white dragon? Well, certainly not through the computer, but energetically, yeah, there's been movement there. And Rose too, she's waiting on a big announcement, and so are we. Sorry, the right's been cancelled and being replaced with a jazz festival. Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. And I do agree with Rose on like what you're participating in. There is a famous quote from someone from many years ago, and I can't remember what it is, about don't invite me to an anti anything, but I'll come to a pro something. Oh God, it might have been Mother Teresa. Yuck. But if you do want to participate in any of these sort of gatherings, then just be mindful of, is it something that's out of anger and anti something, or is it something out of love and pro something? Purely for your own energetics sake, not necessarily because of the bigger impact socially and stuff like that. Just, we are all making a declaration about who we are, our own sovereignty, what we are, our choice, and we're doing that in every little moment. We're doing that with our actions. We're doing that with our words. We're doing that with our hearts. And to me, that's what this is all about. Once everybody, we call it the Great Awakening, and it's, even though this is a mind virus that we're purging, the awakening doesn't seem to so much matter in the mind. It matters in the heart. It's the hearts that are awakening. And it doesn't matter what you get up here or don't get, how much you learn, how much you realize. I mean, there's no real avoiding mentally waking up to some extent. But the awakening is in the minds at home and the hearts here. Something like that. Okay, we got anything else? Anybody in Zoom got anything they want to add? Have you drawn any lines of what you will and will not do? Well, I won't participate in any violent protesting, for example, if that's what you're asking. Or is that a kind of smarmy sort of crack? John, did you see that? Susan's challenging you to release your kraken. The last 3 years, I've had 4 dreams of a massive dark wave coming towards me. I always seem to wake up once I see the wave. Very strange. I'm also seeing 333 everywhere. Yeah, the threes are important.
Hello. I don't have any Kraken to release, but I'll definitely echo what you said about us being more in the out of phase space than we realized. And, just kind of operating at a level 2 because we didn't realize we were in the out of phase space yet. So definitely excited to see where that goes between now and Halloween.
Halloween's got a lot of energy around it. It really does. But so does between here and then. Just better and better and better events, I think. And that doesn't, not everything looks great on the surface. I realize that. But when you see them for what they are, when you see them for the opportunity that they are, when you actually work with what's coming at you, it is actually all good. It's yet another opportunity to see or clear a program, to reconcile the past, to forgive yourself, to take responsibility, to understand the true meaning of sovereignty. Everything is. That's what it seems like. You say message from home. Are they outside the construct? Can they look in? If so, ask them what book I have in my hand right now. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, they are from outside the construct. Can they look in? Yes, they can. Are they right this minute? Probably. Will they answer me? Unlikely. There has been since February, they came in on Valentine's Day, February 14, and said the pull has begun. And one thing I will really give these guys credit for is that they have not ever told us what to do. And they're not holding our hand through this process, because to do so diminishes us. Because part of this process is us remembering who we are. And we are a lot more than we've given ourselves credit for or been led to believe. It is a bit of a hands off. And this goes to this sovereignty thing again. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to put it. But there is no, dear children, my beloved little earthlings, there's none of that shit. And if anything, there's just a little bit of encouragement in the background. You got this. You can do this. That's the way it's been.
And oh shit, they moved again.
What? That was so soft. I have no idea what you just said.
Oh shit, they just did it again. They leapt ahead.
Is there a way we can inject some positivity into Halloween? It feels very positive to me anyway. Doesn't feel ominous at all. I'm thinking big truths come out and the people get really pissed off next few months. I mean, so many have already come out. Ignorance is an absolute choice right now, more than ever. Okay, is that it? I've had lots of experiences of what I would call drop dead proof for myself. But I'm nobody's performing monkey. I'm not going to, and either are they. This is either something that you know within yourself is real, or you don't. This whole narrative that I've got going and the experience that I've been having with this contact from home scares a lot of people. I have never had a bad experience with Lulu, so not with her directly. Other things that have come in as a consequence of my contact with Lulu, sure. Some people just really want to believe it's AI and it's all scary stuff. Some people want to believe it's a fucking demon. People believe whatever they want to believe. You've either had your own experiences that have told you, that have shown you, that you've felt, that have led to a knowing that there is something else, and that something else is real in a way that this isn't. And we are so much more than what's in here, and we are out there too. This is us saving us. This is us fixing our problem. This is us cleaning up our mess. This is not being saved by anybody. We are the ones we've been waiting for, because we are the ones saving ourselves. And not everybody wants to take that responsibility either. They want to hand over the blame, and therefore the credit as well, because you can't do one without the other, to somebody or something else. Sorry, bit of a rant. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Yeah. No. I could elaborate on that rant, but I'll shut up.
Actually, Lisa, it was a good rant. Can I say something?
I would
It just
love.
well, it reminds me of like when I was a little kid. I remember hearing a story or reading like one of those little books about this little boy that had a pet caterpillar, and it was like turning into a butterfly, and the little boy wanted to help like the caterpillar like get out of its little whatever cocoon or whatever, so he like helped it along, and then it ended up killing the butterfly because the butterfly didn't develop. I mean, it totally had the power to do it all on its own, but because it was helped, it like retarded it somehow, and it just wasn't able to, it wasn't able to live. So that's what your whole little rant reminded me of.
Yes, I know that story. Yes, because the butterfly needs, the wings need that pump of blood through them to activate them, and that, yeah, you're right. It's exactly where we're at. Anybody who, whether it's Galactics or anybody else, who wants to come in and hold our hand and take us through and take ownership and responsibility is doing exactly that. Good point, Russ. The struggle causes the growth, yes. And look, we've got a lot of different reactions going on right now. People who are enjoying hiding behind the mask. People who are, I don't even know whether to call them people. People who are really taking the opportunity to go within. People who are participating in some serious fucked up behavior. But to me, the way this year has played out, could never have pictured it. Never saw anything like this coming. And yet, watching it all, it's perfect. We've been talking about a mind virus for years, and that we have to clean up the mind virus. So what comes in is coronavirus. And we have to go into a kind of space within of our own personal quarantine to clean this stuff up. And I mean, it's perfect. metaphor and, well, literal, but it's metaphor for what's really going on. Yeah. Let me see, sorry. Oh, there are people behaving incredibly badly because they've got a mask on and they know their identity is hidden to some degree. And they would not be doing it otherwise. I've been having some pretty strange dreams that I don't feel I can tell family or friends. I've been studying lucid dreaming. Any thoughts on lucid dreaming? Well, in what way? I think some things get referred to or called a lucid dream because we can't accept that it might actually be a real experience we're having elsewhere. But what kind of dreams? Is there just not much chat, or you guys are not passing that many over, or?
Oh, chat's really slow.
Okay.
But we peaked at 323 in the room so far.
Okay. It says, have you got an image you could just flash up on the screen for me for about 30 seconds?
Not without screwing up the stream.
And what would happen if I turned my camera off?
I'd go to that white screen. That's what would be on the stream. Whatever's in the Zoom window is going on the stream.
Because I do need to attend to something and I will be about 30 seconds. So I won't change the screen. I'll just mute. Sorry, I'm home alone, so I have to do it all myself.
Actually, Lisa, while you were getting yourself together, you mentioned that point about masks and cruelty. And there was that show that premiered on HBO last year in like late fall, winter. It was The Watchmen. It was one of those Marvel kind of shows with the superheroes and things like that.
Oh, okay,
And
but I never watched it, but I know the one you mean, yeah.
it was a decent show, had a ton of buzz. And like I said, it was late winter, so it was just before Corona arrived. And the theme of the show is that at some point in the future, there was an uprising against police. And because police couldn't reveal their identity as a result of that uprising, because it was too much of a threat for people to know who they were, they all had to wear masks. So the police on this TV show, they all wear masks. Some of them dress like superheroes. And the plot line, one of the subplot lines at least, is that masks make people cruel. And they say it a couple times throughout the show. And I only saw it just recently, but I thought that that was really interesting that this was like the show kind of priming, you know, exactly what it is that we're experiencing now. So
I mean, I remember when this thing first hit, and it just, before masks were even really a thing, and it just brought the worst out in some people. The rudeness, the aggression, sweet little old ladies you thought wouldn't know how to fly. They were abusing people for standing too close. It was just horrible. But now the masks have taken things to a whole new level. What do you think about events involving a lot of consciousness echoing both forward and backward? I had a weird experience in 2004, turned out to be about this time. Oh, okay, sorry. You had an experience in 2004 that was showing you about this period we're in now. Okay. Well, I guess premonition, you could call it a premonition, if that's what you mean. So, I'm seeing a question that just says, my question hasn't been answered. I asked about the creator of the realm, but I haven't seen the original question. Sorry. Any idea of the coming announcement? As in what it'll be? No, I don't know what it's going to be. And I'm not even sure if we're going to get that much of a heads up that it's incoming either. Or even how it's really going to look, because obviously I'm waiting on one from the White Dragon. Rose is waiting on one, but she's never given, to my knowledge, any indication of what that looks like. Like, is it does it come from Trump? Does it come from a government? Where does it come from? Just the fucking sky open up and, booming voices. We don't know what this announcement looks like. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know when it's coming, and we don't. And we talked about body pains. Yeah, we did a little bit about, for the most part, it does seem to be healing crisis related more so than anything else. Every year I can't see past March. And I didn't really get it until this last March. I think it's because the year energetically, as I said, goes from sort of like the end of March, beginning of April. That's when it starts and ends. So, and the flavor is completely different. We're in a new space. We have been every year for the last 3 or 4 years. So I can never see the next phase. And maybe it's because we're not really sure what it's going to look like until we get there. Yeah, that's what I think. I heard that the pull will be after September 17. What have you heard? Well, to me, the pull really started on July 31st, and it's a process. We're in it now. It's ongoing. We got the message in February, on February 14, that it had begun, but in terms of us feeling it on the ground, so to speak, it started July 31st. And it could go for 144 days. But we're in it. That's how it feels to me. I'd like to share an experience from 2016 or so. I was watching an old vid from U&D. I was ready to pull out, and you both told me to check 2004. It wasn't over. It was as if we were having a convo. Okay. Do you sense a change of energy with the solstice tomorrow? Nothing incoming, but like the 17th, I just woke up that day and it was different. So excited. So, and since then in particular, which is only what, 5 days, it's like my own base level frequency or base level of excitement, it went right up and it's come down, but it's not where it was before. There's still a level of excitement. There's an ongoing hum of excitement that hasn't gone away. Not as high as it was on the 17th, but it's still there. So I don't know. I'll let you know tomorrow. Any thoughts on 2004? I haven't found anything myself. Nothing's coming to mind. Can anyone remember any significant events from 2004? Whether globally or personally? Was it 2009, I know, was a big year for a lot of people, myself included, but nothing's standing out for 2004. Rick was a sailor in 2004. Or a pirate. Which one? Do I think the elections will go off or be delayed? I can't see the elections. But because to me, the elections are an opportunity in a very physical 3D way for everybody to, well, vote, but in a bigger way than that. Like, it's not about voting for a political party. It's about making a personal sovereign declaration about what they're supporting, and it's this whole choice between good and evil thing and all of that. But that's very American-centric, obviously, and everyone has to do that everywhere. And I feel like there are events before then that allow us to do that. That have got nothing to do with filling in a paper form or pressing buttons on a machine. Because the vote that we're all making is coming from our hearts, and there's going to be something. We're all doing that every day anyway, but it feels like there are going to be events that allow us to do that in a big way on a grand scale everywhere. So they're in front of the election for me. Just need some water. Oh, I guess. Okay, how are we doing? Anything else? Or everyone's had enough? All right, if you've got any other comments or questions, please put them in now. Otherwise, we'll say thank you very much. Thoughts on the new Abraham Accords? Is that what they're calling the new peace treaty? I haven't really been up to date on the political stuff. All right, here's a really, really wild scenario for you. And it ties into this whole seamless thing. And it's also me kind of trying to make sense of the fact that nothing feels like it can possibly go beyond March of next year. If you've been kind of aware of the whole construct matrix sort of idea of reality for a while, if you've looked into Tartaria and Mudflood, if you've gone down any of these particular roads, you'll understand the concept of a reset. If you've looked at Diehold Institute, the cataclysmic cycles, there is sufficient physical evidence that there has been cataclysms, you could call, I guess was the best word for them, cyclically in here that are unsurvivable. I think it's called Diehold. He's got a YouTube channel, Diehold Institute. It's very scientific. It's very well documented. But the idea is, if these things happen and there can be no survivors, where does everyone then come from? How does the whole game start over again? All right. If we've been contained in this construct and we literally get, like Rose's idea, we get pulled out of our bodies, all right? Spirit, soul, whatever we're calling that, gets contained somewhere, reset, base level, put everybody back. Well, what are we thinking? What's in our minds? To me, there has to be, just like in Westworld, program, backstory, put in. Now, the place might be cleaned up, or it's not. Maybe you put back into some sort of post-apocalyptic world, but everyone gets given a backstory. that kind of reset, I don't think is possible anymore. I think the game is finally going to end. We are finally working our way through level 10 of this game and getting out for good. But if it is going to be seamless for whatever's next, then presumably we get given a backstory. So what if? And obviously, this is not messages from home. This is just throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks. If somebody does push a button, this game ends. Our minds, our spiritual bodies, whatever, are pulled, put somewhere else. We have to be given a backstory. Otherwise, it would shatter our minds, and that's the whole point, is to not do that. So what if we're given a backstory that Trump won, financial reset happened, Tesla technologies everywhere, all this stuff that everyone's speculating on is going to roll out over the next few years. What if we went from here to somewhere else with a backstory of several years and all of that's already taken place? And it would be seamless. To me, that's a possibility, as ridiculous and crazy as it sounds, and I'm aware of it. It makes for a smooth transition. And from there, of course, you've got peace in the Middle East because you've got peace everywhere. It's all just because what I'm looking at that's happening now, these things, these accords, these treaties, these the odd Tesla tower going up, the talk about med beds, all of that sort of stuff feels like it's just planting the idea into the narrative, planting the idea into the consciousness to assist with a transition, a seamless transition, to become part of the backstory. We are being, whenever you do play one of these video games, whenever you complete a level and you go to the next level, you get introduced to the new characters, you get introduced to the new environment, you get introduced to the new bad guys, you get your new toolkit, you get all of that. So that's where we're at in this process right now. It's like it's introducing all of the new characters, tools, gifts, environment that will make up the next level, or in this case, the next game. At which point I'm probably out of my mind, but that's one way I can explain to myself all of these pieces coming together. What I'm seeing playing out in 3D and what it feels like in the energetics. And how do those two go together? And how do I reconcile that with what I'm getting, with what Rose is getting, with what JC's getting, with what everybody's getting? How does all of that come together and make some kind of cohesive? Because no one, including me, has got all the answers or all the truth. We've all got pieces, and we're doing our best to translate those pieces in whatever form they come to us in. So that is a picture I've got at the moment. Weird question. Are any females been missing their periods for a bit? Can that be from coming out of this construct? Oh, interesting. Because, again, level 3. This has happened before. Women went through, well, presumably different women went through this already. Inexplicable loss of period or loss of any, there was this whole disconnecting from, some people thought it was a disconnection from the moon. Some people thought it was a disconnection from the whole program, because this is a program about this menstrual thing. It's definitely a program. So yeah, that's happened before. We've been here before. So again, I would say we've hit level 3 on that one. Huh, interesting. Thank you. I wish I was a little more disconnected. I was told I could just watch these times like a show. Yeah. And we were told to enjoy our final moments. And it really is a show. We are watching a movie, and it is the one that we wrote for ourselves individually and collectively. And to me, the movie's in the bag. It's in the can, and it's playing at the theatre. Playing at a theatre near you. And yeah, it's done. I asked before, but I'll repeat, any thoughts about the nanobots being put in the COVID-19 vaccine for tracking? I don't think there is a vaccine, personally. And I just think it's more of the fear-mongering. The only way I see a vaccine being released is if at the same time the vaccine companies' protections are removed. It's like, really? You've come up with a vaccine. Awesome. By the way, you know that thing that's been protecting you so that you know you can no longer be sued? Yeah, we're getting rid of that. And then let me see your vaccine. And they'll go, oh, hang on, we might need another minute to double check. That's the only way I can see one actually being released. Sorry, my dog is going crazy. Stay. But I really don't think there will be one. Unless, and if there is, it'll probably be a placebo. Just because there are people who so desperately think they need that. So they might get some sort of really innocuous kind of placebo thing. But it'll make them feel better. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between spirit, soul, and higher self? Well, they're just labels, but there's an aspect of us that, and whether, I'm not sure what we should call it, the spirit or the soul, don't know. But there is an aspect of us that I believe is like a recording device. It's a hard drive for each individual incarnation. So just for the sake of terminology, let's say the soul comes in. Oh, no, let's say the spirit comes in. Oh, fuck, who knows? Doesn't matter. One of them comes in and is having these experiences over and over and over again inside this construct that we call lifetimes, and each of those lifetimes has a hard drive recording device attached to it that we call the other thing. And so they are just, they're just for that lifetime. And those recording devices have been confiscated when you go through the rinse and repeat cycle. So there's that. And what you're calling higher self, I just call big me. It's that greater part of me that's outside the construct that's playing this game, that's injected an aspect, a fraction of its consciousness in here. So have some of us already had their consciousness taken out and put into a containing realm? That's a good question. Yes, I do believe aspects. Containing realm? I don't know if I'd call it a containing realm. I think some aspects of us have already gone home. I mean, how many of you feel like you are less and less here? So it's like we're going home, we're transferring the file that we are home bit by bit, data point by data point, extracting what we can when we can. Do you believe in the Neo concept in some degree where one person can change the real life matrix? I think we're all Neos. And I think we've all been doing it. I don't think one person holds the key. That's too dangerous. You take them out, then, you know, it's a single point of failure in the process, and that just, we're not that stupid. So every person, every volunteer that's come in that's remembered why they came in, every person who's been stuck in here for a while that's remembered who they are, has collaborated with each other and done their bits. There are many little groups like the one I work with all around the world, and there are many more individuals who work solo. And without every single one of them doing every single thing they've done, this might not have worked. So, do I think one person has it all and could have done it all? No. To me, that's just it's redundant. Like it would create a single point of failure. And so no.
I think you said, Lisa, like how we're a black box, how there's those data transfers. I almost feel like when each and every one of us has these epiphanies or these moments, that key kind of gets shared. And whether it's like 100 monkey thing and it goes out throughout here or it just goes wherever. But I understand what you're saying, where it feels like, yeah, it's like this constant sequential thing that's happening and we keep unlocking these keys. And maybe it does affect everyone. And even those people who aren't conscious of it, it's like that key hits the lock, it unlocks a process almost. And we see even like people outside of the community of people who are consciously working on this, everyone else seems to be going through the same kind of emotional processes, and the same emotional themes come up at the same time as those same keys hit their lock too.
Mm-hmm.
And they're completely disconnected from this, but it's still somehow, it's like you said, unsurvivable, but also unstoppable, right? It's just kicking and screaming. We all kind of get dragged through it.
Yeah, we all have friends who are outside this group, the members, who we don't even necessarily talk to about our stuff. We don't have to construct conversations with them or any of them. And they'll come out and talk about how they're feeling, and they'll be using the same language. It's the same themes. It's the same dreams. It's the same physical stuff. And it's like, oh, really? That's weird. Yeah. Because they don't really want you to answer them. But yeah, you're right. One key unlocks it all for everyone. What's the creator up to? No idea. Will he be in a new earth? No idea. What's his name again? Who's that? Next game, or we just exit this matrix, an option. Like what Rose says, she talks about heaven and the underworld as the real world, and then where we are is this construct in between. For all we know, all of reality, what we call realms, worlds, are a construct of some form. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like we're going into anything like where we've been, where this is, what this is. It's different. It would be what I would have to call the real world. And from there, there's probably something else that we would call an even more real world. Who knows? But it doesn't feel like it's like this. I've been confused about my experience of menopause, thinking it is just menopause, but maybe there is something more happening. Yeah, I mean, the heat and the hot, what you call a hot flash, everyone's getting those. Men, children, women who are well past menopause, that's energy. So it'd be, disconcerting to be going through menopause at the same time because it'd be confusing. But when the heat comes in, it's intense. And there has been a lot of that lately, so especially at night. I don't feel a connection to writing this movie. However, I do feel a connection with writing the ending, which means writing them out of our script and experience. Yeah. Woohoo to that. Supposedly, an asteroid hit a cable of the Puerto Rico Observatory, which then collapsed and destroyed. The asteroid was not spotted. Yeah, there's been a flurry of asteroids I didn't know were coming until they were here, haven't there? I haven't actually put any thought into it, to be honest, or felt into any of that. I'm just wondering whether it's comparable to lightning and a data exchange. Maybe. Think on that one. Out of body records taking. Right? What might be the symptoms of the pull? Everything we've talked about so far this year. The physical stuff, the emotional stuff, the disconnecting, the boredom, the meeting your boss. All of it. It's all symptoms of the pull.
Just one thing about the meteors and the asteroids. You mentioned the motherboard and that whole concept. And I know, at least in antiquity, they would always associate those meteors with that mother goddess, that motherboard thing. So whether it was, the Magna Mater in Rome or that thing in in Mecca, the Kaaba stone, or a whole bunch of them, but it was always the same thing, like that Sophia falling angel kind of thing. But that it was like bringing wisdom, bringing data, bringing data, I guess, makes mainly.
I just came in late. Lisa, has the lockdown affected you at all? Really not. um, back in March when we did our lockdown here, it was essential services for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. Doesn't feel like it went for that long. And for the most part, no, I really have not been personally that affected by it all. Not where I am. People wear masks. Some people walk around with, wipes in their pocket, cleaning everything they touch. That's about it. Red and orange sun skies worldwide. Is it just the fires? I don't think it's just the fires. When's the last time you heard from home? June. There was the big one on February 14 telling us the pull had begun. And then in June there was a quick one basically telling us to stop worrying, to just chill out. That's about it. Is the key and 5 is the key 144 into much. Okay. Are any of the other dragons communicating? What job do they have to do here? We have dragons here in human form. There are many dragons here. In terms of energetically, there are more dragons here, yes, that I've seen, just over recent weeks even. And they have different jobs depending on kind of who they are. There was an experience of energetically seeing these dragons come in and just like swoop. And then that's when those fires, and then just after, I think it was the day after, is when those fires started all around the world. It was interesting timing. Anyone else? Energy flattened most of August. Yeah, I think that's part of that whole there's no life left here anymore feeling. If we're really moving into a new, better reality, I think we should see disabled people somehow get better, people who never got a chance because of mental or physical disability they were born with. A lot of the kids, people are born with an issue. Sometimes they really do feel like they're here for those around them. They're amazing teachers. So I guess it depends on the role they're playing in some ways. But I also do know people who have had injuries, disabilities, chronic, for a long, long time that are actually healing. But maybe the really, really hardcore stuff won't happen until after, or as part of a transition. So I can see reasons for that. Once the pull is over and separation occurred, is that when we go home? It feels like a seamless process rather than a this, then that, then this, then that. It just feels like it's going to flow more than that. Yeah, all the stuff, all the really horrible stuff you're seeing in Australia with the cops and all of that sort of stuff is pretty much happening in Victoria. That's not where I am. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you. I think we've gotten through them all. How long have we been at this?
2 hours, 15 minutes.
Sorry, how long?
2 hours, 15 minutes.
Oh, I thought you said 50. Oh, that was quick. All right. Well, that's it. I've taken up enough of your time. So hope that helps with something. But my bottom line is everything feels really good. And just, be mindful of what you're giving your energy to, if you've got any left to give. And if you do find yourself reacting, see it as an opportunity to, look at where the construct's still got a hook in you or clear a program. Individual inside job. Fuck, 4 years I've been saying that. And it just is now more than ever. Be in your heart. And saying that for 4 years. Now more than ever. And follow your gut, follow your intuition. And try and enjoy your final moments. And that line has pissed me off so hard, so many times. Because there's so much going on, but oh, can anyone remember what the whole Atlas Vegas? Yeah, I have to get back on that one. All right. Thanks again. All right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we will try and do this again next week, but I can't make any promises because shit happens all the time. And just try and give you at least 20 minutes heads up if we are. So, all right. Enjoy the ride. Yes. And see you soon. Bye for now.